this instead. All righty, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. This is definitely one of my favorite. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, it is my favorite topic. This is what I started off with as a holistic life coach so many years ago. I was actually counting. I usually don't count years and stuff like that, but I was like, oh, I should probably figure out how long I've been doing this for. And I was like, oh my God, it's been like almost 15 years that I've been at this, right? And so for those of you who do not know me, I'm Connie Costa, and I live in Italy. A year ago, I moved here to Italy, and I have a background in clinical psychology. I went to school with Tina, so and so I went into psychology, and then I went into social work, and for the last 20 years, just have been absolutely madly obsessed with anything that has to do with personal development, psychology, etc. I read a book that changed my life, and it's called Why Your Life Sucks, which is a very funny title, by Alan Cohen. And the title is what got to me, because I thought it was just such an interesting title. And Alan Cohen just brilliantly just described these beautiful spiritual principles that I had really never heard about before. And I remember reading from cover to cover, like within days, and that had never happened before. Even going through a whole bachelor's and master's program, I had never read that fast any book. And I remember thinking, this is what I want to do. I want to become a coach, a speaker, and a writer. And this was at a time where nobody knew what a life coach was. People mocked me for the decision. People didn't take me seriously. They're like, you're going to coach what? Like a football coach, like a soccer coach? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, because I'm so athletic. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Back then, nobody knew what a coach was. It wasn't the popular thing, So people said, my gosh, you're going to leave a prestigious career, which is therapy, to go into what? And now, almost 15 years later, I do not regret my decision. I think it was a wonderful decision, and I'm so happy. And so from the beginning, I've been obsessed with why are most people not happy at their jobs? Why is it that most people don't love what they do? And so I am a writer. I write for magazines, and I recently wrote an article on living your life's purpose. And I looked up statistics, right? And only 20% of people in the United States actually love their careers, 20%. And so the rest is either they're just satisfied, whatever, it's a job, I'm fine, or they hate it, right? And so to me, I'm like, that's not cool. Like, that cannot be, right? And I completely understand how a lot of people get really overwhelmed by the idea of living their life's purpose, doing what they love, and making money from it, right? Because there's like this disconnect where people believe that it's impossible to have that. And I think somebody is, let me mute. Okay. Somebody, did I mute you? Okay. Just make sure everybody is muted. Please, if you could just all check if you're muted. And so anyhow, let me just tell this person to mute themselves, because otherwise we're going to hear everything. So I've always been obsessed with that. And it's been a passion of mine to figure that out and to help people with that. And so we live in a society, again, and now things are changing, thank God, but we've always lived in a society where people have encouraged us since we were very little to get the safe paycheck, to get the safe job. You don't want to get out of control and do what you love, because most likely you're not going to make money. And that's actually not true. And like I said, thank God that things are changing now, because I see more and more people are being encouraged to follow their dreams and do what they love. But our generation, older generation, it was absolutely not like that, right? It was quite the opposite. And so I definitely don't believe in hating Mondays and loving Fridays And I believe that one of the reasons why in the United States they drink so much on weekends is because it numbs the pain, right? It's like a numbing thing of like, people are suffering, people are not satisfied with their careers and their jobs, and so the drinking numbs that pain. But to hate Mondays, and most heart attacks happen on Mondays, and be like, thank God it's Friday. I mean, that's definitely not how life should be. I mean, I really, really, really believe that. And so people ask me, the questions that I get as a coach, as a holistic life coach, the main question is, well, how do I know what my purpose is, right? Like, how do I know? How do I figure that out? And so one of the questions that I always say is, well, if you did know, well, what would it be? Right? Like, because the truth is, we all know what we want to do. And so one of you is not muted. Mute. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So again, like in when we were children, I always tell people to actually, let's do this right now. You could kind of just close your eyes very quickly and breathe deeply. And think back to when you were a child, maybe like an early memory. Just think about, what was it that you absolutely loved to do? What is it that you used to say you were going to be when you grew up? What came naturally? What did you love to play? What was it that you loved? And so I remember even as a kid, I used to love to teach. I would teach my dolls. I would get a little thing and I would be like entertaining and teaching. And I've always been the person who people come to and ask for advice, ask for counsel. Ever since I was a teenager, people come to me and ask me for help, and I know I can trust you. And basically, I've been who I am today since the beginning, right? And so there's little snippets throughout our life that we need to pay attention to, especially, and the key is when we were little, because when we were little, we tended to like certain things, but then again, the outside noise, the environment, our parents, our friends, siblings, whatever, the outside noise became louder than our internal voice, right? And so okay, sorry. I thought I wasn't. Valentina's on. Sorry, I almost kicked you off, Valentina. Sorry. And so, what was it that we naturally tended to like? And so, again, we started believing that no, we can't make money from that. And so we made these connections. Okay, I love to do this, whatever it is. I mean, I know there are people who, I don't know, wanted to be like, a lot of my clients come to me because they say things like, well, I wanted to be an actress, but that's unrealistic. Well, I wanted, to be a news anchor, but that's unrealistic, right? I wanted to be a comedian, but that's never going to happen. And I always say, why? Why is that not? Why would it not happen? Why would the universe put that wish and will in us and for absolutely no purpose? And so I definitely don't agree with that. So again, going back to the question, what is my purpose? For those of you who are confused, here are some simple questions that I ask my clients all the time to kind of hone in, right, and get very specific. So I'm going to ask you guys. It's the cliche question, but this is it. Like, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And I know that, of course, in the beginning, people say, well, I would travel the world and I would live a life of luxury and I would buy this big house and I would get all these cars and I would pay off my debt. And it's like, great. But once all of that is done, so let's pretend all of that happened. You traveled the world 3 times. You bought a big house, you have your Bentley, whatever it is. But now what? Right? What is it that you would want to fill your days with? What is it that you would want to be doing? What would you want to be? What would your contribution to society be? What would you like to be remembered for? Sometimes I have my clients write out eulogies. And as dark as that sounds, it's like, no, what is it that you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want people to say? Oh my gosh, Connie Costa did this, Connie Costa did that. What is that? What is this? What is it that you want to be remembered for? Another dark question, but an important one, is if you had 1 week left to live, what would you do? Right? Unfortunately, a lot of people start really evaluating their lives once they get certain tragedies that occur in their life, whether it's a death of a loved one or a disease that they have been diagnosed with. And that's when they're like, oh, wow, we are more mortal, because sometimes we act like we're immortal, correct? Like we're never going to die. And so we don't think about these things. But we should, right? And so if you had 1 week left to live, what would you want to do? What would you fill your days with? Some more questions that I love to ask is, what energizes you and excites you? What are you doing when time simply flies by? So this is a really good question. Say you're at a cocktail party or you're at a party or whatever. What is it that you're constantly trying to bring up in conversation? What are the topics that you love to talk about? That you're like, well, I want to talk about this. Like if somebody's going to give me the mic and say, talk about anything, what would it be? What is it that you're passionate about? And what is it that you could do for hours and hours on end? And you don't even realize that the time is going by. Now, before you start thinking, but that's too good to be true, I want to tell you guys a story. This is a true story. One of my mentors told me this story, Dr. John DeMartini. For those of you who do not know Dr. John DeMartini, I highly recommend him. I always tell people he's not for the faint of heart. He definitely says things that a lot of people get very triggered by, but I love him. I think he's a brilliant man. This is a man who was told he was dyslexic and would never amount to anything. And now fast forward, he's probably one of the most brilliant men on earth. He's read over 40,000 books. Read over 40,000 books in different subjects: medicine, philosophy, psychology, religion, everything that you can think of, not just like on one topic, on every single topic. So he told us a story about a woman who was in one of his courses, and he was asking similar questions to these, right? Because with us coaches, a lot of people come to us and always ask about purpose. And so this woman was like, I don't like anything. There's nothing that I love to do. And he's like, that's impossible. That there's no such thing as somebody not liking, that there's nothing that they like. And she said, the only thing that I like is hanging out with my dog. That's the only thing that I like. Hanging out with my dog, caressing my dog. That's it. That's the only thing that I like. And he's like, okay, let's monetize that. How can we monetize that? And she was like, what? And he's like, if that's what you really love to do, be with your dog, let's monetize that. And so the stories are kind of long, but fast forward, she was in Central Park and she would like put cute little outfits on the dog, and people would go by and take pictures. And next thing you know, this like a talent, somebody came and scouted at the dog, and the dog became the little famous Chihuahua in the commercials. What was it? Taco Bell commercials. And made her millions of dollars. And so I love saying that story because it is true. I mean, when there's a will, there's a way, right? She's like, I only like to be with my dog. And she got to make millions of dollars by literally just hanging out with her dog all day long, right? And the dog eventually died, and then they had another Chihuahua. But anyway, the bottom line is, I always think that's a cool story. So what is it that you love to do and that you could do all day long? And so then I get another question often from my clients. What if there are several things that you love to do? What if there's more than one? What if a lot of my clients come to me and they're like, Connie, but I love to do this and I love to do that, and I don't know what to do. And I always say, explore, and explore. Explore all options. However, one thing I've noticed is that you sort of, when your energy's scattered all over the place, you're not doing, it's like you're doing so much, but you're not doing anything, you're not giving anything the right amount of attention, right? And so yes, you can explore, but do one thing at a time. one project at a time. Give it your all. Give 100% to that one project. And once it's successful, or once you realize that it's something that you want to do, you're excited about it, then you can move on to the next project. But if you are starting off living your life's purpose with 5 different things that you're doing, your energy scattered all over the place, and it's just more difficult and complicated. So one thing at a time. And this is another question that my clients always ask, and I go over this in my program a lot, my signature program of Living Your Life's Purpose. What if it seems impossible? Right? A lot of people have tried. They come to me and they say, but I have tried. I've tried many times and it seems impossible. And here's what I have to say about this. I feel very passionate about this. I feel passionate about this entire subject, but I feel very passionate about this. When you have plan A and only plan A, you're going to do everything that it takes for plan A. When you have plan B, when the going gets tough, and it will get tough, I promise you that. Often in the holistic community, we want to be very positive, very, oh my God, clear, cancel, delete. We can't say anything negative. But the truth is, it's an illusion for us to think that there's not going to be a life with just pleasure and no pain, with just positive and no negative, with just a great, perfect life and no negativity. That's not going to happen. The world is always in perfect balance. It's balanced. So when we're going after something, often, very often, most of the time, all of the time, I would be confident to say, is you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested and tested and tested. And it's almost like the universe is saying, how bad do you want this? And I have one of my favorite examples. I bring this up all the time. It's Ed Sheeran. For those of you who don't know, he's a singer and a very famous singer. And I was listening to an interview by him that Howard Stern was asking him, how come the musicians that start, your friends, the musicians that started off with you, how come they didn't become as successful as you did? Because obviously Ed Sheeran's one of the most famous singers in the world. He's like, your musician friends, how come they didn't become famous? And he's like, simple. They had a plan B. I didn't have a plan B. I had a plan A, and that was it. And I know that to be true, even in my own life, with the fellow coaches who started off with me, right? I had a lot of coaches who started off with me, and we're all, newbies at this. And, I had plan A. That was it. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew I was passionate about this. I didn't have a plan B. And a lot of these beautiful, wonderful coaches had plan B, C, D, E, F, G. And guess what? When it got tough, they were like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I cannot tell you the power of when you know that there's something that you want to do and you do not let go and you keep going with that dream and you're willing to do anything and everything to make that come true. I promise you, there is nothing more powerful than that. And it might seem at times that you're not going anywhere, you're not getting anywhere in your career, that your purpose is like, I love to do this, but it's not going anywhere. But I promise if you stick with it and you just keep going, it's gonna eventually, it's gonna be extraordinary. There's gonna be a huge payoff. It's gonna be extraordinary. I promise you. I've never heard of somebody, putting 120% and, trying year after year and not getting exactly the result that they wanted by keeping with it. But people often quit way before. There's this great book called 3 Feet from Gold, literally, where you quit when you're 3 feet away from gold. There's like a real story about that. And there were times in my own career where I could have very easily quit. And where, anybody looking from the outside would have said, Connie, it only makes sense for you to quit. Honestly, like, give it up, let it go. Like, this is just a dream, a fantasy of yours. There were months where I would make literally $0, nothing. I was making nothing. I had nothing going for me. I had no clients, or clients that I was, basically almost paying them to be my clients. It didn't look good, but I knew in my heart of heart that this is what I wanted to do. I had a passion for it. I wanted to serve. I wanted to help people, and I was going to do it no matter what. And I kept going. And so you just have to take one step at a time. You can't be so anxious, where this is one thing I always tell a lot of my clients, is that a lot of my clients come to me and they have a lot of anxiety because they want to go from where they're at to becoming Oprah or Tony Robbins the next week. And I always tell people, Oprah and Tony Robbins didn't become Oprah and Tony Robbins overnight. Do you realize that it took them, years and years and years to become who they are today? And so people get anxiety, like they already imagine themselves in front of, thousands of people, and how am I going to get there? No, it doesn't work that way. It's one step at a time. One step at a time. And the other thing that I always tell people, it's not, people have this idea that it's that any kind of career is like this, hopefully, right? It goes straight up. And then once you're there and that's it. No, it looks more like this. It's more like this. And you just got to go with the flow, and you just have to trust. And if you love what you do, it's going to be okay. Right. And I don't know if you guys follow Jim Carrey. Oh my gosh. Jim Carrey, a lot of people think he's absolutely nuts. I think that he's a brilliant man. And he has a lot of motivational videos out there. And there's this one where it really touched my heart. And I really loved what he said. He said that his dad worked at a job he hated for years and years and years. His job worked at a place that he absolutely, I think it was a factory job, and he hated it, but he felt like he had to work there because he needed the safe paycheck for his family to bring food on the table for his family. Well, I don't know how many years passed, but his father got fired, and things were not looking good. But what that taught Jim Carrey was, wow, if you can fail at the safe job, at doing what you don't like anyway, why not go for what you really love? Like, it doesn't make sense that I can fail at something that I really don't like anyway, that I don't want to be doing, when I can just go for the glory, go for the gold, go for what I really want to do. And I always thought that was a brilliant story. I love telling my clients that, because it's true, right? Like, just go for it. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, but just go for it. Another question I get, and again, if because I like to go a little fast, because I have a lot of information that I want to give. But at any point, if you have a question and you want to stop me, go right ahead. You can write in the little chat box, or you can just wave, and I will answer any questions. Take advantage. I always tell people that. So here's a question that I get often. What if you lack self-confidence? My clients come to me and they say, but I lack self-confidence. I don't know if I can do it. Excuse me. And this is what I tell people. Listen, everybody lacks self-confidence. If I had to wait until I was ready, I would still not have started. That's just the truth, right? We all lack self-confidence in one way or another, right? People see me and they think, oh my gosh, you must be the most confident person in the world. Oh my goodness. And I have insecurities like anybody else does. And the truth is, we're all better at some things than others. That's just the truth, right? What will give you confidence, honestly, is just doing the damn thing. That's what gives you confidence. When you're scared shitless and you do it anyway, that's powerful. And that's what gives you confidence, because you feel like, oh my gosh, I was so scared to do this, but I did it anyway. And look at me now. I didn't die, right? All these people are like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do public speaking. I'm going to die. It's like you do it. And then you realize, oh, I didn't die. It was okay. I survived. Right. And so doing the damn thing is already going to give you so much more confidence. And then honestly, practice. So I have, again, the coaches who started off with me, a lot of them had all these excuses as to why they couldn't start. Oh, because I have to get a degree in whatever. Oh, because I still need to get some more certifications. Oh, no, because I need to study with that famous guru up in the Himalayas or whatever. I don't know what excuse it was. They're excuses. I'm sorry. They're excuses. We're ready now. The world needs you today. And the only thing that's going to give you confidence is the experience, right? Is you just getting in there and doing it. That's what's going to give you experience. That's what's going to give you confidence. That's what's going to make you feel better about doing whatever it is that you really want to do. And that doesn't mean that I don't recommend for my clients to constantly grow and learn. There is not a day, I'm not kidding, there's not a day that I am not reading, listening to podcasts, coaching with mentors. I have my own coaches and mentors. I am constantly learning to evolve and become a better human being and to become a better mom, a better wife, a better coach, a better teacher. Of course, you should constantly be learning. But here's the thing. What gave me the experience mainly was just doing it, coaching people. So I have a question. Okay. So thank you for the question. So here I have a question. So it says, when I started a new business in neurofeedback healing 5 years ago, it felt like it was taken away from me through unpredictable happenstances. Currently, I'm getting immersed in sound bath healing, and it seems like the same pattern is happening again. I'm becoming more passionate about sound bath healing, but there are unpredictable happenstances occurring. For example, fear that the universe will take it away, or sometimes that the person, a PhD I'm assisting in the sound bath healing ceremonies, misunderstands my spiritual views. It makes me feel restricted. I understand that his clients, who comes from a variety of belief systems, don't understand my spirituality. So I'm mindful of this, and I am understanding now that this is the world. I need to separate my spirituality with this secular world, which is unfair. Any ideas how to integrate with this dilemma? My hope is to remain where I am working and living now, and yet add sound bath healing life, even if I don't have the experience nor the funds. So here's the thing. The universe doesn't just take, first of all, I don't believe in the universe just taking things away from you. That I'll never believe in, right? It can feel like that, right? It can feel like, oh my God, the universe just took something away. But there are so many things that could be happening here. It could be, quite frankly, that somebody just gives up and just says, okay, forget it, I'm done. There's all, like what I was saying earlier, there are times where you're going to be tested, really, really tested, like big time tested. And a lot of people there see it as, oh, the universe doesn't want me to do this. And I say BS to that, right? Like I was saying in the beginning, there were many times in my career where I could have taken it as the universe was taking the coaching away from me. Many, many times. For years, I could have said that. Also, my tours in Italy. So for those of you who do not know, I started as a holistic life coach, and I would bring my clients here to Sicily on personal development retreats. And then throughout the years, people who were not my clients were like, I know that you go on these, you lead these beautiful retreats in Sicily. I'm not your client, but I really want to go to Sicily. So I started a second business of Sicily tours here in Sicily. So for the people who were not my clients, who really wanted to see Sicily with me. And so I started, these two companies simultaneously. And I still am going to be leading my personal development retreats here in Sicily. I still do the coaching. I still do the Sicily tours. Again, but one thing at a time. I was saying in the beginning, one thing at a time. But this is the thing. Even my Sicily tours, there were years where 0 people would sign up, literally, or 1 person would sign up, right? And so many times I could have given up and just said, okay, it's just not meant to be. I'm sorry, it's not meant to be. I'm done. But I didn't, because I knew in my heart of hearts that this is what I really wanted to do. I knew that I had a passion for this, that I was very passionate. I love serving. I love helping people. I love learning all these magical principles and teaching them and coaching people and assisting them to getting to the next level. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And so I just didn't let go. And I'm telling you, I'm serious. It did look like the universe was like, it's not meant to be. But no, I kept going. That's one. The other thing is, there does come a point when I hear surrender in the holistic community, I have mixed feelings about surrender, because a lot of times the surrendering looks like this. It looks like, oh, something hard happened. Oh, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. I'm done. Okay, I'm going to start something else, right? And I'm not saying that you did this. I'm saying the holistic community, I've seen this, for so many years, even with my own clients. I've seen people want to give up because they think that the universe is giving them a signal of it's not meant to be. So I surrender. To me, surrender instead means when you know what you want. So you put that out there in the universe. This is what I want to do. You take all the action that you can possibly take. You know you've done everything that you could possibly do for whatever that is. And then you surrender. And then you say, God, you know what's best. So if there's anything, that you can do, any divine intervention, I'm surrendering it to you. It doesn't mean surrender, I give up. It's I surrender to you because you know best, right? And so that's surrender for me. But surrender is not, oh, I just, it's not meant to be. Mercury's in retrograde. That's one of my favorites. I always hear that. Mercury's in retrograde, so it must not. And I always it drives me nuts. So no. So, but when something is, when we're not talking about any of that, and something truly is taken, where you feel like it's being taken, I see it as something better is coming. So one door closed because another door is going to open that's even better, right? So it sounds like it could be a variety of things, a mixture of things. But in life, we have to trust that when one door closes, it's because something better is coming for you. And so now we're going to go super metaphysical and super. One thing that's very important is mindset. Right? Mindset is very, very crucial here. Okay. Thoughts become things. I'll say that one more time. Thoughts become things. So if we are constantly thinking negatively, this is going to be taken away. This is going to be taken. Let me give you this example. So I heard this the other day on a podcast. This coach was saying that one of her clients came to her and was saying, oh, this course is not selling. This course is not selling. And this course is just not selling. And it's not selling because of this. And it's not selling because of that. And it's not selling because of this. And I just don't understand why it's not selling. It's just not selling. And I want it to be selling, but it's not selling. And the coach stopped her and was like, do you know why it's not selling? Because you're freaking saying it's not selling every 2 seconds. Like, be careful what you say. Be careful what you're thinking. Whatever programming is constantly going on, you are attracting that into your life. If you're constantly saying it's not going to sell, guess what? It's not going to sell. And so we have to be careful, especially when we start new businesses, that we're going to say, it's just not going to work. It's going to be taken away. The universe is going to take it away from me. It's going to be gone. Oh my God, this is not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. We are a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Whatever we put out there, it's like our brains, it goes, let me see, scanning for whatever you just said. right? Now, I want to say this. This is also very important. That doesn't mean that I'm saying think positive 100% of the time, because that's impossible. And I have a problem in the personal development world, in the holistic world, where they want to convince you that that's how you should be. You should think 100% of the time positive. That's impossible. I mean, did any of you guys on, have you guys ever thought 100% of the time positive? No, it doesn't happen. There are times where we think negative. There are times where we are positive. But the important thing is to notice what is going on in our thoughts. So if once we do see, oh, we're going into that negative zone again, okay, let's thank you for that information. Our brain is always trying to protect us. Thank you for that information, but I choose to see things differently. My business is going to be a total success. And this is for you, Alex. I'm going to make millions of dollars serving millions of people. So thank you, brain, for that information. I know you're just trying to protect me, but no, this is my passion. This is how I'm going to serve. I want to serve humanity. I love doing this. I'm going to make millions serving millions. How much easier can this get? How much better can this get? And so constantly affirming that, as soon as you start getting into that anxiety, because again, thoughts becomes things, but even more importantly, feelings. If you're feeling anxious, if you're constantly feeling nervous, that's where true manifestation comes from. So when we talk about manifesting our lives, one thing is saying, I want to make millions. But if you're not feeling it, if you don't feel it within your soul, you're never going to become a vibrational match. So if you're feeling constantly anxious and constantly nervous, you're manifesting from that vibe. So we have to change your vibration. We have to change that first so that you're coming from a calm, trusting state. So there's no such thing as failure, my beautiful darling Alex. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So if you can look back and learn, okay, this is what I got. This is what I got. What else? What else did I learn? What do I not want to do? What do I want to do? What is it that I liked about that? What is it that I didn't like? And you just get the feedback and stop seeing it as maybe like a failure that the universe took it, reframe it. How can you reframe that situation? Because there were times in my life, places that I worked or whatever, that I could see it as a failure. I could see it as the universe took that away from me. But now instead, I reframe it. I look back and I see all the blessings that came from it, right? Oh, wait a minute. There were blessings that came from this happening. There were blessings from me being let go from that particular job. Oh, it was traumatic. And I was like, oh my God, how dare you let go of me? I'm so wonderful. Oh, it's because this had to happen, right? This is what I needed to learn from that. Oh, because I needed to start living my own life's purpose. Like, you have to everything in life is neutral. It's all about how we interpret things. How is it that we're interpreting the situation? Are we seeing it as failure, the universe being unfair, the universe taking stuff away from us, or protecting us, guiding us, taking us to where we're meant to be, right? So it's all about how you have to start thinking. Aha, that's it. I'm surrendering to God, universe, and be mindful of my mindset of thoughts becoming things. I'm feeling and making millions and serving millions, reframing. So yes, exactly. And then I wanted to talk about the other question is, sometimes a person you're assisting misunderstands your spiritual views, which makes me feel restricted. I understand that by his clients. So none of us have anything to prove to anyone, to ourselves or to anyone. I have my views of spirituality, right? I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Yet I have the closest people around me are hardcore Christians, hardcore into Catholicism. When you're okay internally, all that stuff doesn't freaking matter. Nobody gives a shit. Like, I don't give a shit what they think. I don't have anything to prove to them. They have nothing to prove to me. I'm not convincing them of anything. They have nothing to convince me. I am happy in my own spiritual little bubble, and they're happy in their own spiritual little bubble, right? So when you feel good and centered, there's no need to feel unbalanced of whatever somebody else's point of view has. I mean, I literally every religion you can think of, and I'm friends with them, right? It's like, I don't care, right? Because it goes, spirituality should go beyond that, right? So I hope that helps. And if it doesn't, feel free to ask another question, you or anybody else, if you want clarification. Like, I don't care. I mean, I have people who sit there and will tell me their points of view, and I completely disagree, but it doesn't matter. That's, who cares? I'm not going to try to convince them. And I think that's futile. What's the point of, of I love the way Alan Cohen says it. We're all trying to get on top of the mountain. We're all trying to get to the same point. We just have different paths. That's it. It's a different path. They have one path up the mountain. You have another path up the mountain. And that's the way I see it. And I really do believe that that's true. We all have different paths. How we get there doesn't matter. It's all beautiful, and it's all amazing. So I hope that helps, Alex. Please feel free to ask more questions, because I like that. I like questions, or anybody else. So again, the self-confidence will come from actually just doing it, and actual, the actual experience. And when they say, how do I start living my life's purpose? I cannot reiterate how much you just start freaking doing it. No matter what it is, you just start doing it. And baby steps. It's literally just about baby steps, one step at a time. Once you do one step, the universe will shed light and show you another step and another step and another step. There's no need to be overwhelmed into having to figure it all out right away. Just do one step at a time. And so here's another question I get. What if you hate your current job? It's like, I hate my current job. What am I going to do? I hate it, right? I get that a lot with my clients. And again, in my signature program, Live Your Life's Purpose, which is going to start in November, I go over this ad nauseum, because this is something that is really, in my opinion, really important. So yes, people tell me, my clients ask, should I just quit my job and just start living my life's purpose? And I always say, yeah, that's the way that you can do it. That causes a lot of stress and anxiety. I don't know why you would do that, right? In my early days, back in, I don't know, like 15 years ago, I used to be like, yes, just trust. And now I'm like, what was wrong with me? Like, there's no need for all that stress and added stress and anxiety. So this is how you should view it. Again, it's all about reframe. What was I saying before? Reframe. So once this coach, this money coach, was saying, see your job as interest-free loan toward your business. I love this. Interest-free loan. So basically, you want to start living your life's purpose. So whatever it is, your career, you can manage at least 15 to 30 minutes a day. This should be fun, of every single day doing something toward your purpose, right? While you're still at your current job. Because again, and I see Tina says, I love that. Exactly. While your current job is paying for the bills, right? It's paying for the bills. It's so you don't have that stress of, oh my God, I have to pay this, I have to pay that. Because quite frankly, that was too stressful for me when I first started, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna trust. That was very stressful for me. And the last thing you want is to look at clients or whoever with dollar signs in your eyes, because you have to pay the mortgage, you have to pay the rent, or you have to pay your bills. And you're like, I hope they sign up. I hope they sign up. Oh my God, please sign up, because I have to pay. But you don't want that energy. That energy is not cute. That energy is not good. No. And even though you're not going to say it, you could feel that desperate energy. So you don't want to come from desperation ever. You want to come from a sense of peace and knowing that the right people are going to come to you, who are attracted to you and your work, and they're going to come to you and they're going to, sign up. That's the kind of energy and vibe that you want, right? So But every day you're going to be working until you realize that you have enough, you're making enough money on your purpose, and then you can quit your job and bless it. And then I get people saying, but I hate my job. You don't understand. I hate it. Reframe. What is it that you do like about your job? I don't like anything. No, not true. Impossible. Again, this world is in perfect balance all the time. It's in perfect balance. So where there's good, there's bad. Where there's bad, there's good. There's going to be both. So what do you like? Do you like your coworkers? Maybe you like your boss. Maybe you like where it is. Maybe you like the building. Maybe you love that it pays all the bills, that it's actually giving you money to be able to do whatever it is that you're going to be doing. What is it that you like? Can you reframe? The other thing I tell my clients is give 200% of yourself. Don't half-ass anything. You're giving 50% of yourself, 40% of yourself. Trust me, that energy, how you do something is how you do everything. And that energy spills within everything that you do. Whatever it is that you do, no matter how much you love it or don't love it, you want to give 100, 200%. And you will see what a difference your environment will be. If you're giving 200% and you start focusing on how grateful you are to that job, literally, the more you hate it, the more I want you to say every single night, I am so grateful for, and think of all the things that you're grateful for. Reframe the situation. Learn to love it, knowing that, keep remembering that it's taking you somewhere, right? It's going to take you where you got to go, right? It's helping you get there. And also, I don't believe that anything is by mistake or coincidence. So I think that every single job we've ever had has been for a purpose and has helped in some way and will help you with your purpose. Every single one. No matter how you're like, how that was such a silly job, or that was such a pointless job, or whatever. I know one of the coaches that I started off with, she said she has, like, I think she even has a book or something like that, says something along the lines of, everything that I learned to become a multimillionaire, I learned as a waitress. And she's a multimillionaire. She's like a CEO of a really huge company. And she learned everything by being a waitress, she says. So she sees it, right? She sees that everything was on purpose, right? It wasn't, in the way, it's on the way. So even you, Alex, I want you to look back and see, how did that whole experience, how is that going to benefit you? How did it benefit you? What can you be grateful for? How can you help other people with that? With that said, this is really important. This is something that I have my clients do all the time, especially with my program of Living Your Life's Purpose. And the program is basically how to start a successful practice. I have people think about the most painful time in their life. And I know this isn't fun, and this isn't something that people love to do, but it's crucial. So you have to think back to the most painful time in your life, a time that you maybe didn't think you were going to survive. You're like, I don't even know if I can survive this. This is too much pain. Nothing happens by accident. In those times of pain, if we can see the blessings and get the lessons learned, we can serve and help others and prevent them from going through the same pain. And I'll give you an example. This is a very powerful example. I always talk about this woman. She was one of the original healers that I learned from. And she was telling me once that she had been repeatedly raped by her father ever since she was very young. She was repeatedly raped by her dad. To which I answered, I said, oh my God, that's terrible. And she said, who are you to judge? She goes, had it not been for that experience, I wouldn't be helping hundreds of kids today. And that always stuck with me because, well, I felt stupid, but it always stuck with me because I was like taken aback by the situation. I was like, what? And I'm like, but that's true. She's helping hundreds of kids now. She became a psychotherapist, social worker. and she was helping all these girls with the same issue. And so I don't think that that anything that we've gone through, good or bad, is pointless. There's a reason for everything. And when I think back at, I've had obviously traumatic experiences in my own life, very, very traumatic experiences. But even just one example of, not necessarily, well, here's a few examples. One was I was severely bullied as a kid. And I mean, severely bullied as a kid, to the point where I would eat my lunch on the toilet because I was too scared to go, in the yard where everybody else was, because I knew that they were going to either mock me or harass me, or it was going to be bad. So I would rather eat my lunch on a toilet than go out there. But what that did, me getting bullied day after day after day, is it created me to become so incredibly sensitive toward other people. I feel energies on a different level. I had to learn this, right? I feel people's energies when I'm even through pictures, through video, especially in person, I feel people's energy. And what that has done has made me such a more effective coach, because I can feel the client that I'm working with, and I'm very sensitive to their issues. And I come from a place of no judgment, right? Having months where I made zero money, right? And that was, I'm telling you, my career has been very much like this, right? There have been times where it was really embarrassing, where I would be screaming on the floor saying, why is this happening to me, God? Why are you doing this to me, right? It's like ridiculous. Like, God is obviously not doing this to me, but that's how I felt. It forced me to really learn about money. It forced me to go out there and read every book on money and really figure out my money shit, like what was going on, right? Because I really believe that you can't have a successful business if you don't have your financial house in order. If you have no idea how to save, how to invest, or understand the spiritual principles, or if you think that you can't be spiritual and rich. If you have this idea where I can't be spiritual and rich, there's no way. Rich people are greedy, rich people are assholes. I don't want to become rich because I don't want to become an asshole. All that stuff, if you don't understand that, you're going to reject money on an unconscious level, because you're going to think it's bad, right? It's bad to be wealthy. So it forced me to read all this stuff so that I can effectively help my clients. I can actually be there with my clients, and I understand where they're coming from, and I can teach them, and I can guide them, and I can make them understand that being rich is actually a good thing, not a bad thing. If you, that wealth, money is neutral, right? It's all the meaning that we put into the money. So these are just a couple of examples of things that I went through that were really rough, but I had to go through them so I could help other people. And so if you guys can start thinking, what is it that I know that I could help other people not experience the same pain, right? I have one of my clients who I love and adore and worship. Right now, she can't be on the call. She's going to see the replay, because she's leading a retreat. So proud of her. She's leading a retreat. And she's very open about this, a lot of issues with her own kids, right? I know I'm talking about jail and mental illness and just a lot of issues. But why did she have to go through that? Because now she can help so many people, and she comes from a place of no judgment, completely compassionate. She understands and she gets it. Where a lot of people might judge, right? People who are incarcerated, oh, they must be bad, whatever, kids with mental illness, whatever it is, whatever the judgment is, she comes in, no judgment. And if you are going through something like that, or your kid is, the last thing you want is to be with somebody who has judgment, right? So I want everybody here to start thinking, what is it that I can help others? How can I serve other people? What is it that I've gone through that I can help people not go through the same pain that I went through? if that makes sense. So there's a lot to be said, and I have a lot more, but I want to respect people's time. I know I said 1 hour, but I am going to go through a little. First of all, if you have questions, please put it in the chat. I see that there's a couple questions, and I'm going to go through some of the money stuff because I promised that. So okay, I'll answer that in a minute. So as far as money, because I know that this is a big topic. Again, I kind of went through a little bit of it. Can you be rich and spiritual? Absolutely. Though my wealthiest friends are the nicest, most spiritual, most badass people that I know. And so this idea that all rich people are assholes, all rich people are greedy, all rich people are this, all rich, those are just beliefs. And I have a lot of clients who come to me completely in fear, saying, I'm scared of making money. If I make money, I'm going to be like them, whoever. Maybe their dad was some rich asshole. Maybe their uncle was a rich asshole. Maybe their mom was a rich, whatever it is. Or maybe they had some kind of bad experience, a boss, whoever it is, and they don't want to be like them. I promise you, money only makes you more of what you already are. So if you're an asshole, then yes, you're going to become a bigger asshole. Yes, it amplifies. That's true. So if you're an asshole, get more money, become a bigger asshole. If you're a good, generous person, I promise you, more money is going to make you a more generous, loving, and caring person. One of my wealthiest friends who passed away, he was super wealthy, and every single time I needed anything, and I'm not talking about for me, I'm talking about for any causes. So if I wanted to build a water well in Africa, or if I wanted to help with an orphanage in Cambodia, he was the first person who I would go to, and he would sign big checks. Here's $10,000, here's $20,000 for whatever it was. He was just a generous, loving soul, super wealthy, and just always wanted to help. Every time he saw me, I would never forget it. Every time he saw me, he's like, what are you working on? You better be working on something that's saving humanity. I'm like, oh my God, the pressure. Yes. What am I working on right now? I would have to think about whatever I was working on. And that's who he was, right? And very wealthy. So the people who I know in my life are amazing people who want to help humanity, want to help others with their money. So being afraid of making more money because it's going to change you, no, it's just going to amplify whatever it is. So let's see, how to become a vibrational match to money. This is really important, right? This is a question that I get often. How do you become a vibrational match? And again, it goes a little bit with what I was saying earlier, where you can say ad nauseum, like every single day, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. But if you're not feeling it, if you're not believing it, you're not going to become a vibrational match. If you don't believe that you're worthy. And here's the thing, you are worthy of the life, the career, the money of your dreams because you're just fucking worthy. And that's it. You are worthy because you are worthy because you are worthy. Because you are a child of God. Let me say that again. You are a child of God and you are worthy. The only difference between people who are super uber successful and rich and those who aren't is mindset. It has nothing to do with working hard. It has nothing to do with being smart. There are people who are dumb and very wealthy. There are people who work really, really hard and have no money. This is the truth. So it has nothing to do with working hard. It has nothing to do with being smart. It has nothing to do with good luck. There are people literally on YouTube who do the stupidest videos, right? And they're multimillionaires. God bless them. I am all about that, right? Like I am all about however you make money, you make money. I don't care. Hustle, whatever it is, have fun. My point is I know that anybody who's attracted to me in any way is because they're fucking amazing. So if you're on this call, I know you're amazing. I know because I know who I attract, and I know that you want to serve, and I know that you want to do good. And I know that I'm going to cough. Hold on. I have the weirdest allergies right now. So if you want to serve humanity and make the world a better place, you deserve anything that you want, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. I remember Alan Cohen had the same issue and asked his mentor, and he said, and the mentor said the same thing. You deserve everything that you could possibly want. Look at the amazing work that you're doing. You are worthy because you are worthy because you are just worthy. That's it. No matter what past you have, no matter what you feel like you've done or you haven't done, you are worthy. And the only difference is mindset. The only difference between the richest person on earth and the second richest person on earth is mindset. That's all, right? That's all it is. So how to get on the same higher vibrational match with money? Here's some hacks. Like there's a lot of little things that you can do, but you want to get into that feeling, right? So think about what it would be, what it would feel like to say have $1 million in your bank account. So you want to hold that thought for as long as you can. So if you want to put the timer on, maybe for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you put the timer on and you just start imagining what does it feel like? What does your house look like? What are the smells in that house? What does your car look like? How about the people you love? Who are you taking care of? Are you taking care of your mom, your dad, your sister, your husband, your wife, your kids, your nieces, your nephews? Who are you taking care of financially? And literally let your mind go crazy. Like just let it go. Oh yes, I'm going to finally purchase that, first class ticket for my mom to go to Paris, for my sister, for my brother, for my best friend, whatever it is. Oh, it feels so good. They're so happy and I'm so happy. You have to become a match where it feels so good. And the universe starts listening to that. Oh, it feels good. Oh, it feels good. Look at this good feeling. And you just visualize, but you have to actually feel it. So it's not enough to just write it down and talk about it. I am wealthy. But inside you feel nothing. Or inside, even worse, you're feeling like, yeah, but that's never going to happen. Yeah, but that's whatever. So you want to actually let your mind go loose and think about it, but commit to it. It's not enough to do this once and then be like, okay, that didn't work. It's one of those things I always tell people, my clients especially, which is why I love running programs like the one that's coming up in November. I like doing these programs because not just week after week, day after day, you're completely immersed in this. Because one thing is you get motivated, like this workshop, you get motivated, then tomorrow nothing is done, right? It doesn't work that way. It's like going to the gym, right? This is a spiritual gym. This is a mental gym. Same thing going to the gym. You don't just get abs and then you're like, oh, I'm done. I don't have to go to the gym anymore. You have to keep going. It's the same with your mind. Every single day. This is why I immerse myself every single day with reading, in the coaching, with podcasts. While I'm cooking, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to YouTube videos, whatever it is that I have to listen to get in that mindset, right? To get in the mindset of I can do this and I can do that and I can have the life of my dreams. This is how I manifested everything in my life. Everything that I've manifested. That doesn't mean I haven't had challenges. Boy, have I had freaking traumatic challenges. Of course, like everybody else, right? It's made me a stronger person. But I remember writing down and visualizing the house that I wanted here in Italy. I wanted a specific house here in Italy. I wanted it to look a certain way. I wanted it to feel a certain way. And I literally wrote down every single detail of how I wanted my life to be every single day here in Italy. I wake up at this time. I do this with my son. I go, I drop him off at school. Then I work every single minute. I wrote it down. I visualized it and I would feel, how would it feel to live that life? Guess what? I'm in the house that I visualized, that I manifested. I live every single day exactly the way that I want to live because I became a vibrational match to it. The universe was like, oh, she really wants this. It feels so good. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. So manifesting has become my thing. And so we want to practice that every single day without fail, morning and night. You want to be grateful for what you have, and you want to visualize and see how it feels to come from a place of already feeling how it would feel to have that. It's very, very important. And then let's see. The other thing that I want to say is it's really important to have fun with this. A lot of people, a lot of my clients come to me and they get really like nervous, like I have like checking boxes. I have to do this. I have to do that. What is it I have to do? And they get very like anxious. I'm like, this is the opposite of what you want. You want to feel good, to come from a place of this manifesting, living your life's purpose, this law of attraction business, having abundance in your life. It should feel good. So if it doesn't feel good, that's the opposite of what we want. It should feel amazing. It should come from a place where you feel so good and you're so elated every single day that it comes naturally and that we're attracting all these wonderful things into our lives. So what I want everybody to do as homework, this is very important, write down the life that you want. And why are we waiting for the life that we want in 5 years, 10 years? Let's start making it now. What is it that would bring you so much happiness today that you would love to do that would feel so good? So many of us deny ourselves the things that we want to do, right? Getting a massage or going out to dinner with friends or whatever it is. Every single day, figure out something that would bring you so much joy and happiness. From that vibration is where we manifest. So literally, like if I'm getting a massage, like I love massages. If you know me, I love freaking massages. I get a massage every freaking week. And I might change it to every day. I'm not even kidding. I'm just so busy with my work that I'm like every day might be the challenge. But for sure, every single week I'm getting a massage. While I'm getting the massage, because it feels so good, that's when I start doing my affirmations, because it feels I'm in a state where it feels good. So I start doing my affirmations. I start visualizing what it is that I'm trying to manifest into my life. Of course, take action. I take lots of freaking action. So I'm not just saying just visualize and call it in. Also take the action. But from those moments where I'm feeling really happy, whatever it is that I'm doing, if I'm on the beach, with my family, if, I'm at an amazing, dinner and having this amazing culinary experience, I stop, I actually take a moment to be grateful. And then I call in whatever else it is that I want. Because from that moment of feeling good is where we manifest the most. We become a vibrational match. Does this make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions about this, about money? Tina, I'm sure you have a question.
For once, I actually don't. You're answering all these things that I've been thinking about in my brain that I've been saying to myself. So for once, I'm like, oh, that's connecting with that. Oh, that's connecting with that. It's like I feel like all these dots have just been connected.
Okay, good. All right. Well, anyway, that's so good. But if you do have a question, let me know. So so that's the main thing to focus on is feeling good. And from that place of feeling good, we also start discovering what it is that we really love to do, what our top values are. And we figure what our top values are is from what we're doing every single day of our life, right? What is it that we're doing every single day of our life? What is it that, nobody has to remind us of? So actually, I would love to hear from some of you, any of you, if you guys want to type it in. I know, Alex, you are doing the sound bath healing. I don't know why I can't say that. Sound bath healing. I don't know why it's so hard for me. I've been in Italy too long. Anybody, if you guys want to write down anything that you are trying to do or that you would love to do, or if you're unclear about your purpose, or if you're trying to figure it out, what is it that you need help with, please feel free to write it down here in the chat. You can do you can do it privately so nobody sees. but I would love to hear what it is that you guys want to do. What is it that, is, or something that you're trying to figure out. Like, I know I want to do this, but I'm not exactly sure how it's going to look like. Please let me know. I have my signature program that's coming up in November, and it's how to live your life's purpose and start a successful practice. This is something that I've been teaching for many, many years, but as I evolve every single year, it changes every single time because I evolve as a coach. So all the information is new and different, and I'm constantly trying to get the best information out there to help people live their life's purpose and start successful practices and actually make money. And it starts November 7th. And so if you're interested, I can't wait because this is something that I love to do so much. I love to serve and to teach these magical principles and spiritual principles and how to manifest and the law of attraction. This is the stuff that fills me. It gives me so much joy to help others. And I've been doing this, like I said, as a holistic coach for nearly 15 years. And I used to run these classes, like one right after another before Gianluca was born. I used to run them continuously because I love to do this and I love to help people get crystal clear on what their purpose is. Because a lot of people do have, like, they're very unclear of exactly what their purpose is. Get crystal clear on what your purpose is, and then get crystal clear on the baby steps, exactly what to do to get to a place where you're actually living your life's purpose and making money from it. Because that's it right there, right? It's like, it's not just enough to know what your purpose is. Now what am I going to do with it? How can I actually make this into a career where I'm actually getting paid and handsomely paid? Because again, I strongly believe that we were not put on this earth to waste oxygen, that we all do have a mission. And I strongly believe that we all do know, but many of us don't allow ourselves to really go there because we think it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. I love acting, but it's too good to be true. I would love to heal and just do healings all day long. I would love to just talk about health all day long and help people with health, but it's too good to be true. Or I know what it is that I want to do, but I've been trying for years and I can't make any money. And then when I hear that, automatically as a coach, I know that there's some kind of disconnect with their financial house, right? And in the holistic community, this is something that I see so much, and it really breaks my heart because I feel like the holistic community should be the ones making the most money, right? If you guys think about it, if everybody in the holistic community who's doing such amazing work were millionaires, how would the world look, right? Wouldn't it be freaking amazing? It would be freaking amazing. So my passion, I'm very passionate about helping people in the holistic community make money, like actually get out there and share their message, because the world needs you now, not tomorrow. It does not need you tomorrow. It needs you today. And if we keep postponing it and keep saying later, tomorrow, next week, I'll figure this out, maybe in a year, I have to get a degree. First, I have to do a certification I'm not ready yet. That's all, again, like I stated in the beginning, those are all the excuses that we give. These are excuses. We can start today. We can start now. And we can start making a difference in people's lives. And that's what I'm so passionate about doing. And that's how I love, oh, here we go. There's a question. And that's what I love. That's how I love helping people. So here we go. So if I decide to go solo, the financial aspects of acquiring my own sound instruments like gongs, singing bowls, chimes, a place to conduct my own sound baths, how to get clients to attend my sound bath healing ceremony, getting more confidence in leading guided meditations, maybe you're hiring a speech coach, how to deal with personality conflicts. Hopefully these will manifest. So this is, again, what Alex, what we were talking about earlier. When people get overwhelmed, right? It's like you're going from point A and now you're already at Z. So that's not, if I thought that way, I would still not be a coach. Or would I be leading tours in Sicily? I would be doing none of that because I would be too overwhelmed, right? So it's all about taking one step and trusting that the next step will show. As long as you are committed, 10,000, I'm already overwhelmed. No overwhelmment. I know. As long as what the universe wants from you right now is just to be 100% in, 100% committed. I am committed no matter what. If you know that this is your life's purpose, that this is what you're truly meant to do, that this is what you love to do, that you could see yourself doing this every single day and you'd be so happy. As long as you're 100% committed and in, that's what the universe wants to see. And then everything starts happening as if by magic, but you have to trust the universe. You have to trust God, that but as if by magic, doors start opening, people start presenting themselves. I wouldn't be surprised. I remember when I first started, I was like, there's also like, oh my gosh, you have to do this. I even remember somebody offering a free office in Beverly Hills to me. So he was like, oh, you can use my office for free in Beverly Hills. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, once you have trust, and you're taking action though. That doesn't mean you don't take action. You do take action every single day. The universe will bring, as if you can tell that it's God and the universe because, excuse me, it's like you can tell it's divine because there's no way you could have orchestrated it. It's like, it's magical. So you can see that the universe starts to help you. And I'm sure that you've seen it thus far. I'm sure you've seen magic be created thus far, right? And just keep believing in that. Does that make sense? So I don't know why, but during this time, I have like allergies, October. So let's see. Any other questions? It does feel like the universe has rearranged things for me. It is. Any other questions from anybody? Any other questions before? I'm literally like, my throat is done. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Connie at conniecosta.com. Let me write it down. Honestly, I don't know what happened to my throat. Here it is. I'm typing it. Connie at conniecosta.com. It's in the chat. And any questions about the course, I'll be more than happy to answer that. I hope this helped. I'm sorry that my throat decided not to help me. Oh, and he wants to make 13 billion. Alex, you're terrible. You're funny. But any other questions, please feel free to ask me. This is, like I said, I love to do this. This is my passion. I'm very passionate about it. I love coaching and helping people discover their life's purpose, and seeing my clients now after 15 years, all the things that they're able to do and the changes that they're making has been, he's laughing, Alex is laughing, has been magical for me to see what people are able to do once they get in touch with their purpose and they start believing in themselves that they can, seeing them in service. There's no greater feeling for me. So I'm sorry that I'm like dying at the end. This is where my throat has given up. But I really appreciate everybody who tuned in. And for those of you who couldn't tune in and who are going to watch the replay, you can also send me an email about it starts November 7th and it's 4 weeks. And basically every single day you're going to have a study group. It's going to be the best one that I've ever done yet. And it's to help you get very clear with your purpose and live your life's purpose and get paid and create a holistic business out of it. It's $19.97 for 4 weeks, $1,997. And if you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to email me and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Has this helped? I hope this helped. Tina's the only person I get to see, which is why I keep looking at her. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for participating. Oh, my deepest gratitude. Oh, good for you, Alex. Good for you. Thank you, Tina. And thank you, Alex. Yeah, go just be for Alex, for Tina, for everybody who's on. Just keep, I love it. Good job, Tina. I love that I love it. Yeah, everybody's hiding. I can only see Tina. Yeah, Alex, keep doing what you're doing and just trust in the universe. And if you know that this is what you want to do, just trust and go get them. Just go do it. And the universe will show you the way every single day will show you. So that is it, everybody. 1 hour and a half. I went half an hour over. Sorry about that. But any questions, please feel free to ask me. I love you guys. And also I have an article that's going to come out in a magazine in the next few days. And it's about living your life's purpose. It goes over pretty much everything that we went over today and some more. So I will post it on my Facebook profile. And you guys can read it. It's like a recap of everything that I spoke about. Is that that's a heart. That's the first time I've ever seen a heart. Susan, hi. How are you, Susan? Susan, if you have any questions, this is the time. I know some people you can even type it in if you have a question, but I will post it on my Facebook profile, and I highly recommend you read it because it's like a recap of what I've said today. And so it's good. It's good because it talks about everything that we talked about today on living your life's purpose. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording.